Hi everyone, in this video, we are talking about Preah Khan Temple. The Preah Khan Temple, located just outside the capital city Angkor Thom, was built in 1191. Its name translates to the sacred sword. The temple was built by Jayavarman VII, a Buddhist king who liberated Angkor by driving out the occupying forces of the Cham. The king who earlier dedicated the Top Prokham temple to his mother, dedicated the Preah Khan to his father. The statue of Lokshvara was carved to resemble the king's father. Large temple city. The Preah Khan was a temple city occupying a large area surrounded by a moat. The outermost enclosure was built up with wooden houses and huts where common people lived. The wooden structures have long gone. A hospital and a house with fire. On the grounds were also a hospital and a house with fire. The small inner sanctuaries are cramped with a great number of temple structures, including a well-preserved hall of dancers. Built as a Buddhist temple. As King Jayavarman VII was a devout Buddhist, the Preah Khan was built as a Buddhist temple. Most depictions of the Buddha have been destroyed or changed into praying rishi figures during the Hindu reaction of King Jayavarman VIII in the 13th century. Partially restored. Clearing works on the overgrown temple started in the late 1920s. The temple has been partially restored using the anastylosis method, reconstructing the temple with the original architectural concepts in mind. The Preah Khan stele. In 1939, Maurice Glaise, the French conservator of Angkor, discovered the Preah Khan stele under a pile of rubble. The stele, measuring 2 meters by 0.60 meters, is inscribed on all 4 sides. Texts on the stele. It contains a wealth of information about the history of the temple. The stele contains an invocation to Lokeshvara and Prajnaparamita, as well as to the 3 jewels of Buddhism, namely the Buddha, the Dhamma or Buddhist teachings, and the Sangha, the Buddhist community. The text praises Jayavarman VII, the king who built the temple, and mentions that the king founded a city named Nagara Jayasri, which translates to the city of the sacred sword. From the texts it is known that close to 100,000 people were dedicated to serve the temple, including rice farmers, monks and dancers. It also lists the wealth of the temple, including silver, gold and gems. The stele mentions that in 1191 a statue of Lokeshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, was consecrated, carved to resemble the father of Jayavarman VII. Eastern approach to the temple. In front of the temple's eastern entrance are the ruins of a small landing area for boats with a couple of lions standing guard. The pier is situated on the western bank of the Jayataka Baray, a huge water reservoir, now dry, immediately east of the temple. From this pier, the king could embark a boat to the Nekpian temple, which is located in the center of the Baray. From the landing area, 100 meters long walkway with boundary stones leads to the causeway crossing the moat. The Buddha images carved into the boundary stones have been destroyed. The moat is crossed by a bridge lined with giants holding the body of the mythological Naga snake. The 4th enclosure with the Dharmasala. The temple grounds are divided into 4 enclosures. The 4th enclosure contained within the moat is over 900 meters long and 750 meters wide. This space was occupied by long-gone wooden houses of villagers and servants. Five-meter-tall Garudas. The wall of the 4th enclosure contains 5-meter-tall Garudas fighting Naga snakes. Dozens of the mythological half-man, half-bird creature are placed at regular intervals around the more than 3 kilometers long 4th enclosure. The Gopura gate of the eastern main entrance consists of 3 towers, the central one being the largest, which contains an entrance gate large enough for elephants to pass. Along the walkway to the 3rd enclosure is a well-preserved Dharmasala or house of fire. The 3rd enclosure with the Hall of Dancers. The third enclosure measures 220 meters long and 165 meters wide. At the Gopura of the east entrance, which consists of 3 towers, is a very well-preserved guardian lion statue. The carved depictions of the Buddha have been altered to praying rishis. Just past the Gopura is a well-preserved hall of dancers with beautiful Devatas carved above the entrance doors. Two-story building. North of the Hall of Dancers is a 2-story building with large circular columns. Although it is not known what the purpose of this structure was, some speculate it might have been the granary building. Between the Hall of Dancers and the second enclosure is a courtyard with 2 very small library buildings. The second enclosure. The second enclosure was added at a later stage. As a result, the space between the first and second enclosure is very small. 6 sanctuary buildings were built between the 2 enclosures on the east side of the temple. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more video.